I've said it before and I'll say it again, craft distilleries are here to stay, and today we have not one, not two, but 3 bottles from Virginia. This is Filibuster Distillery, and I need to know in the comment section below, what craft distillery should I be checking out next? And don't tell me about something like Sagamore, trust me, we know all about that. Check out our Patreon page if you want samples from any of these free bottles that I receive from these distilleries. Check out the Patreon page, that link in the description below. I send them out to my top tier patrons, and they have access to some of the barrel picks. Like I mentioned, we have a Sagamore one coming out soon. Let's get into this, a triple review for you today from Filibuster Distillery. Listen, Filibuster went above and beyond. They sent out the t-shirt, they sent out the hat, but the best thing that they sent out was this right here. This is basically all of the whiskey that they have to offer. This beautiful pamphlet, these rip out, it's perforated. They have all of the information that you need about everything in there. The only thing is they don't have it up to date with what I have here. So we went online and we printed out everything we need to know about all 3 of these bottles, but everybody knows before we get started on all of that, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. So let's talk about the 3 bottles that we have here in front of me, and we're going to start with the bottle on our right here. This is their newest release, I believe. This is the Bottled in Bond. Filibuster Bottled in Bond Bourbon Whiskey is the result of our passion to create the ultimate bourbon. The term Bottled in Bond has been long represented the highest quality of whiskey, and in bourbon is no exception. The limited release bourbon is crafted using the finest Shenandoah Valley grains and water, which represents Virginia in a bottle. This is aged 5 years, not 4. Of course, it's got to be aged a minimum of 4 years, coming in at exactly 100 proof, meaning that Bottle and Bond standard. The aroma, the taste, the finish on all of this is here for us, but we're gonna get started right here when it comes to drinkability. You know how we do it, price, taste, drinkability. Starting at 100 proof, how well does this sip for 100 proof? Listen, usually the craft whiskey hits you a little bit harder than the regular stuff. I don't think that this does. I don't think I would put it much under 100 proof. I probably say this drinks right at its proof. But again, with that craft whiskey, I feel like I've drank a lot of whiskey that is supposed to be 100 proof, or it's supposed to be 98 proof, and it drinks like 105 or 110. This one's just not doing that. I do think it's right at 100 proof, which there's nothing wrong with. They proof it at 100 proof because one of Bottled and Bond, but that's where they think they can get the most flavor with the least amount of ethanol kick. So at 100 proof, I don't think this one's bad at all. We got a lot to get through, so I'm going to be quick with all of these. I'm going to say a straight 7.0. I think I would blind this right at 100 proof, and we give it a 7.0 if it drinks right at its proof. Bottled Bond starting off strong. I like this one a lot. And of course, up next, as you can see here, we are going to be working with the single estate, single barrel bourbon. Now, this one is a wheated whiskey. It tells us right on here, this is a wheated bourbon. This is straight bourbon whiskey, but obviously the secondary grain is going to be wheat. We have a 110.1 proof on this one. The water source, Virginia limestone. They got a lot of information right on here as well. Aged 4 years. Ingredients, corn, rye, barley, and wheat. This is fermented for 72 hours. HWK Farms, I'm guessing that's where they source their grains from. Barreled at 120 proof. Barrel number WR1441, if that means anything to you. Sid, appreciate you for barreling this one. And the barrel type was a Kentucky Head MN Stave. I don't know what all that means, but let's get into this one. Drinkability, what was this one? 110.10 proof. Let's see how this sips for that. Drinkability. Cheers, y'all. I mean, we're right there as well. It's definitely hotter than this one, and probably by about 10 proof points. These all sip right at their proof. I don't mind that, especially from a craft distillery. As I mentioned, they usually sip over their proof. I don't mind when they sip right at their proof. So for 110.10 proof, I think this sips all that. These might put, I mean, are these all just going to be 7.0s across the board? I feel like that would be boring, but you got to put it where you got to put it. Now, obviously, this one's a single barrel, so it won't end up on our top 10 list just because I never do single barrels, just because you might not get the same exact barrel that I get. But I still wanted to tell you where this would fall on my particular list. This, I'm going to go 7.0 again. I think it's right at its proof, and I think that's a fair spot for it. Let's get into our last bottle right here. By the way, going back to this Bottled and Bond here, this is corn, rye, and barley. So these aren't all the same mash bills. Batch 2024-03, total barrel 17, barrel number 2829. This is double distilled, HWK Farms again, Virginia limestone water, and again, corn, rye, and barley on this one, while this one's corn, rye, barley, and then they have the wheat on this as well. This also says wheated bourbon, So I don't know, it's not a wheated whiskey, right? So it's not 51% wheat, but I don't know what percentage we have going on this one. This is the Filibuster Distillery Dual Cask Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in French oak barrels. So this is interesting, another French oak product here. We'll put this up against the other 73 French oak products that we have going on. I don't usually love French oak, but let's try this one right here. This is coming in at only 90 proof. So let's see how this sips for 90 proof. This is where I start to get a little bit hesitant on these craft distilleries. I'm not on taste yet, but make sure you stick around for the taste on this one. This one's crazy when it comes to the flavor profile. 90 proof though, I don't think it drinks 90 proof. Another great one. I think this might be a little bit above that 7. Nothing crazy because it's only 90 proof. It's hard to be, you know, between 80 and 90. It's not going to taste like much, especially after 100 proof and 110 proof. But for 90 proof, I mean, this is super easy to sip. The flavor on this is just wildly different than anything I was expecting. I mean, again, 90 proof, not expecting a lot of kick, coming off 2 higher proof whiskeys here. I'm going to go like 7.13. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I don't think it drinks right at 90. I would probably say 90 proof because I would never blind something at 89 proof. I don't know if any whiskey out there is 89 proof. You know what I mean? But like 88, 89 is where I would think it's at. So I would still say 90 proof, but 7.13 is where we're going to put it when it comes to drinkability on this. Let's go back to our first bottle over here, and that is the Bottled and Bond. Again, this was the one that I was like a little bit most excited about. I do like the age statements on all of these. This one says 5 years. This one, what was this? 4 years. This one does not have an age statement on it, but 5 years, 4 years. Again, craft whiskey is at that point now where when things blew up, these companies took note, and that was 6, 7, 8 years ago. So they were like, hey, we need to put out some whiskey with a little bit of age behind it. They were putting out like 2, 3-year-old whiskey, and I'm like, you're not quite there yet. But now these companies are getting here. There's a bunch that we've already talked about. There's a bunch here in Pennsylvania that I'm very excited to see the future of. And I need to know in the comment section below who else I should be looking at that has that 4, 5, 6, or even older age stated stuff. And I want their whiskey. I don't want sourced whiskey. I want their whiskey. So it's exciting that Virginia is putting out their own whiskey under this Filibuster Distillery, and they're putting out good whiskey with good age statements. So let's get back into this one. Let's talk about the taste on this one and see where the score is going to fall. See, this one is nice because it is not a craft whiskey. Like, it is a craft whiskey, but so often I'll get that craft whiskey note. And I'll be like, yeah, this is just not refined enough for me. It's just not quite there when it comes to whatever it is, the blending process or the distilling process. It just feels like they're not quite at that mark yet. This one is not that. This one, I feel like if I put this in a blind with other straight bourbon whiskeys that are from some of these legacy distilleries, I don't know if I'd be able to pick it out as the craft whiskey. Maybe eventually, or like if you put this bottle in there, I think I could point it out. But if it was like completely blind, you just randomly sent this to me on a Tuesday afternoon, I don't think I'd be able to pick it out as craft, and I like that. Very traditional flavors. We get vanillas, caramels, just a slight hint of oak on this. Nothing overwhelming with that 5-year age statement, which I don't like. You get enough of that rye spice that it keeps it interesting, but yet enough of that sweetness that keeps it dynamic. There's something going on in this glass more than just what rye spice, or more than just sweetness, or more than just oak. They do have a nice little roller coaster ride here. It might be like, you know, it might be like something that the kids would ride, but I still think this is a very solid whiskey for what they're offering. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at that at all. Right now, just because I'm thinking about it, I do, like, ever so slightly, because I'm really trying to hone in on that, I feel like I do get a little bit of that craft influence at the end there. Gives it like a little bit of unrefined of these, like the graininess of it. But again, I'm like really diving deep into this to find that in this glass. I don't hate this glass at all. I think it's a very solid glass of whiskey. I don't know where I'm going to put it when it comes to the score, though. That's the tough part. I don't think it's quite an 8 yet, but it definitely deserves to be high 7s. Just to save us all some time, let's go like 7.85 when it comes to this one. This is solid. And again, this is 5 years. What they could do with 6, 7, 8-year-old stuff on this, that's going to be impressive. 7.85 is where we're going to put this when it comes to taste. Let's get into our second glass here, which again cannot make our top 10, but we're going to talk about it anyway. This is the Single Estate Single Barrel Bourbon. This is coming in at 110.10 proof, and this is telling me that I'm supposed to get juicy stone fruits with toffee candy. Now, you let me know in the comment section below, what is a stone fruit when you get that on a whiskey? I don't even know what I'm thinking about with stone fruits. I've looked it up like 20 times now, and I still can't decide what a stone fruit is. But we're going to try it. We're going to see what we get. Let's try it out. See, this one tastes more like it's a higher corn content, if that makes any sense. This one feels, I don't feel like it's grainy, I don't feel like it's young, but I feel like I'm picking out a lot of the corn on this. I don't know the mash bill on this, corn, rye, barley, and wheat. You definitely get a little bit of the wheat influence, but I don't feel like there's a lot of wheat on this. I wish I knew percentages, but I just don't. I feel like this is a higher percentage of corn than anything else on this. Just it gives you that super sweetness when it comes to the corn, but corn sweetness isn't my favorite when it comes to a whiskey. I don't think this is bad by any means, but for my particular palate, it's not my favorite one. Let's take one more sip. So I'll be honest with you, I looked it up again. Stone fruits, they're talking about fruits with pits in them, but that's so dynamic. They're talking about like peaches, cherries, plums, all of these things have pits, or like a stone in the middle, I suppose. Like avocado, is that a stone fruit? Are avocados fruits or vegetables? Well, we're gonna edit that out. I don't know if I get any of those stone fruits on this when it comes to the sweetness. There is something there. Let me take one more sip, I'm sorry. As I finish it, which is usually a sign that I like it. In this case, maybe I just didn't pour enough. But let's get into our last one right here. I didn't even give you a score on this. I'm gonna go, I think it's right below a 7 on this one. I don't think any of the flavors are bad. I just don't think they're for me. So I'm gonna go like 6.52 when it comes to the taste on this one. Not the best, not the worst, but 6.52 is where we're gonna put it. And of course, last but certainly not least when it comes to taste is this bottle right here, the Dual Cask Straight Bourbon. This was finished in French oak, and I can't think of another French oak bourbon that I've tried that tasted like this, which is refreshing on one side of things, because I'm not a huge French oak finished guy in the first place. I like a few of them. I have 6 or 7 of them on my shelf. I should do a blind, and I will, of all of my French oak finished stuff. We'll do like a tier list or something like that. People love the tier list stuff, but this one to me is just wildly different. And I'm going to read you the tasting notes that they tell me I should get, because listen to this. Vanilla and cocoa carry through from entry to exit with a flash of heat on the end. Spicy notes of tobacco and toasted oak notes linger. That's like spot on. I love when tasting notes are spot on. Sometimes they get a little bit ridiculous. We've talked about it before. That's spot on though of what I'm getting here. Super vanilla-y, super cocoa, and then a lot of that tobacco, and definitely tobacco on this. This tastes more like an Amberana, not Amberana finish. This tastes like it's trying to be more like a cigar blend than like a French oak finish. This one's crazy to me. Again, I've never tasted, I mean, this, I don't know if this is like super French oak. I haven't tried anything that's like straight up in your face French oak, but maybe that's what they've done here. I mean, it's 3 to 4 years old, so it's younger. Maybe it's the younger whiskey mix, but I feel like I've tried that before, because a lot of craft distilleries or a lot of younger distilleries will do the French oak thing, especially right now. It's like all the rave. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like back and forth on this one. I don't hate this, but I don't love this. It's kind of weird. I love the uniqueness of it. I love that it's different from French oaks that I've had in the past, French oak finishes that I've had in the past, but I also don't know if I would love this as like an everyday sipper or something like that. This is a unique whiskey. That's how I'll put this. This is a very unique whiskey. The only other thing is the finish, and they mention it here, and again, spot on with their tasting notes here. Finish is elegant, slightly dry, and very long. I don't disagree. It dries out the palate. It's very long. Usually don't like a drier palate, but I don't love a short finish. So for me, this, I feel like I'm back and forth between like a 7 and an 8. So we're gonna put it right in the middle somewhere. We're gonna go like 7.5. I think it's above a 7.5. I want to fall closer to the 7.6 side of things. So I'm gonna go like 7.58 when it comes to taste on this one. This one, unique. If you have an opportunity to, I mean, especially when we talk about price, I don't think you shouldn't pick this bottle up. We'll talk about it here. We'll get to price. Speaking of which, let's get back to price here. Let's go to the bottled and bond. And this one, kind of a tough pill to swallow for me. Now I understand, right? Craft distilleries. I wish I had an insight on how much it actually costs to make a bottle. I wish somebody knows, right, within the industry. I don't know if they'll tell me, but like, what does this bottle of whiskey cost the people to make? From the machinery, like overhead's gotta be crazy. The time to put it out for a smaller distillery has to be crazy. Like Buffalo Trace can afford to sit 10, 12, 15 years for a whiskey. Filibuster Distillery probably can't. You know what I mean? So to wait 4 years, 5 years, and that 4 and 5 years on these, again, I don't know on this one, I understand that that's an investment that they're making in the future of this whiskey. And I think they're doing a great job on that. I'm just trying to speak from the consumer standpoint, and this bottle comes in at $88.79. That's on their website for a Virginia resident. So I didn't even click non-Virginia resident. I just clicked Virginia resident. So $88.79 for a 5-year-old bottled and bond. I understand, and I don't ever want to, like, I'm never the type, and I tell distilleries every time they send me free bottles of whiskey, I'm never the type that's going to crap on a whiskey. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's the worst thing that I've ever had, especially from, like, this is people's livelihood here. And they've got great whiskey. I'm not trying to tell you that this is like bad whiskey and I'm just going to give it a good review. They got great whiskey here. $88.79 is an expensive bottle of whiskey for a 5-year-old bottle and bond, no matter who you are. But again, I kind of feel like I understand the concept. They have to put it out at a certain price to make money. I don't think they're price gouging. I don't think these smaller distilleries are out here like, trying to pull one over on us, selling it for $90, thinking like, we're making millions of dollars because these idiots keep buying it. I think they have a good product. I think they have a lot of overhead, and I think they have to put out bottles at a certain price point to make money. And I think for them, that price point is $88.79. I think for the market, though, which is what dictates price, it's a little bit high. So let's take one more sip and then we'll give you a score. That's the best way that I can explain this. And again, as somebody that owns a business, as somebody that does this for a living, like, I understand how price points have to be set. I understand you calculate your costs. You know how long this has been sitting. You know your overhead. You know your utility bills. Like, you know what you're paying people. And that's all fine and good. But at the end of the day, if you're not moving product because your product is overpriced, then you got to either figure out a way to make it cheaper, or you got to figure out a way to sell it cheaper, one or the other. Because right now at $88.79, I don't think this is the greatest price point. And I liked this. I like the drinkability on this. I like the taste on this. I think they have something special with this particular bottled and bond. So when it comes to price, I'm sorry, one more sip. I hate doing this, but I really do have to think about it. I mean, they say $10 per year. This is a craft distillery. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. $12 per year, 12 times 5, that's 60. So we're still a little bit high here. I'm going to go like 6.81 when it comes to the price on this one. I don't hate the price on these two, so stick around for that. But 6.81 is where we're going to put it when it comes to price. Up next, the one that we finished but somehow did not love is coming in at $58.99. This is their single estate, single barrel bourbon coming at $58.99. And again, this is 4 years. So like we're at $40 again, 12 times 4, 12, 20, $48, and we're at $58 craft distillery. You know, I'm not mad. Single barrel. This one doesn't bother me too much. $60 for this bottle does not bother me too much. I feel like this is closer to the mid 7s than it is like the 6s or the 8s. I don't hate this bottle at $58. I think it's a pretty easy ask. I don't think you're like breaking the bank at $58. So we're gonna go again mid to high 7s on this one when it comes to price. I didn't love this one particularly, but I can definitely see people in the whiskey world liking this whiskey. If you're from Virginia, I can see people supporting a local distillery at this price for this whiskey. That's what I'll say. I can kind of see it at this price for this whiskey too, but I can definitely see it at this price for this whiskey. So I will say this is closer to those 8s. I'm going to go like 7.84 when it comes to the price on this one. I don't hate it. At 58, we'll call it $60. 7.84 is not a bad spot. And last but certainly not least, somehow my favorite of all when it comes to drinkability, taste, and price. This one's so different and so unique. I want to hate it, but I just can't. This is coming in at $46.99. This is 3 to 4 years old, so I'm assuming it's in between there, right? They would say 4 years old if the youngest whiskey was 4 years old. It's only 90 proof, so let's think about that. That's the other thing. We're talking about 100 proof and 110 proof. That raises the price a little bit as well. But this is $50, $46.99. It's not even $50. And again, the drinkability was great on this. The taste was unique on this. There's nothing off-putting about it. It's just something that's a little bit different. So at $46.99, this is basically like, I don't love the price, I don't hate the price, and I'm not mad about the price at all on this one. I think this one's priced fairly. Again, I will try this against other French oaks because this is the most unique French oak that I've ever had, and I like that. I like a company that can come out and do something different and provide me with something different, especially a smaller craft distillery like this. So let's finish this up. Since we finished the other two, be respectful to the whiskey, and then we'll give you a score when it comes to where are we at, price. I mean, I gotta give this like an 8.13, I'll be honest with you. It's not a bad price at all. I liked this one the best when it came to taste. This price is just a little bit out of the realm of what it should be. And then this one is like a middle ground of I put these in the perfect order, by the way. I didn't mean to do that. This one was great when it came to taste. This one was great when it came to price. And this one was kind of average on all three of those things. So that's where we're gonna put you. Let's find out what these all added up to, because I'm not gonna waste your time with a bourbon bomb of the week. Check out Filibuster Distillery if you haven't already. I'll put that link in the description below. Let's find out these scores. All right, final scores. I don't even know who won, and I just added these up. Let's start with it. The bottled and bond came in at a 7.22. That is a really good spot. I mean, again, we're talking about the only thing that held this bottle back is the price. If this is a $60 price tag, we're talking whole different numbers. We're probably up in the 8s on that one, to be quite honest with you. The single estate, single barrel bourbon, which isn't going to be on our top 10 no matter what score it gets a 7.35. And again, that's a little bit higher than the bottled and bond, and that kind of got carried by price. I don't hate the price on this for a single barrel whiskey from a craft distillery. $58.99, that's not too bad at all. And then I think this is, am I wrong? First place, again, carried by price, but the taste on this, unique. The drinkability, fantastic. The dual cask straight bourbon. Like, guys, if you've had French oak whiskey bourbons, French oak finished bourbons that you've tried before, this is another one. Don't think, oh, I've tried them all before. Try this one as well. This one is definitely different, and this comes in at a 7.61. What I've learned over the past couple of weeks is craft distilleries are on the rise, and if you're behind, you're going to miss the 8-ball, because once Filibuster puts out their 8-year single barrel, I promise you, you're going to want that release. Make sure you comment down below your favorite craft distillery so I can reach out and try and get some of their whiskey as well. Make sure you check out our Patreon page if you want to try some of the craft distilleries that I get an opportunity to try. I do that for my top tier patrons. Click that like and subscribe button right here on this video. Make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Check out our Discord. Come chat with us 24/7. I think those are all the plugs that I have for you. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay trying everything. I'm gonna hit every single state. That's my new goal. Hit every state for a craft distillery. Cheers, y'all.